I'm Warren Mendez here in my home kitchen, and today we're cooking with beer. I'm using this as a savory base to a very decadent cheddar and beer bread loaf. And as if that isn't indulgent enough, we're also going to be making a bacon butter to serve on top. That's right, a bacon butter. But first we'll get onto the loaf. It's a very, very easy one bowl mixture. So we're going to be starting, of course, with the beer. This is the one time your beer does need to be at room temperature. And then we're going to go in with some thyme. So this is going to give a great savory base. So just pick off those leaves. So we want quite a lot of thyme, about a tablespoon once I've chopped it all up. And that can go straight in. Then also some garlic. So I've got 2 big cloves here. Just take off the skins and then we can just finely grate them. We want a decent amount of freshly ground black pepper. So we're going with about 1/2 teaspoon, so it's quite a lot. And then we're using some good crumbly cheddar. So you can use some vintage strong cheddar for this so we get some big flavor. We're gonna grate a whole block. Okay, so I'm gonna reserve about 1/4 of this for the topping of the loaf, but the rest of that can go straight into the beer mixture. Final wet ingredient, some melted butter. And then, of course, some salt. So I'm gonna go in with a couple of teaspoons of salt. And now just to balance that, because obviously the beer can be a little bit bitter, we're gonna go in with a tablespoon of caster sugar. It's not gonna make it sweet or anything, it's just gonna really round out all those flavors. Give that a stir together. And then straight in with 400 grams of self-raising flour. I haven't sifted it, so you don't need to do that at all. And we're just gonna stir it all together until there are no lumps. So I've just got a loaf pan here, greased it quickly with some oil, and just in with 1 sheet, I'm just gonna lay it across the sides, and that way it's just gonna be a lot easier to lift out the loaf once it's baked. And then just all that mixture straight into the pan. And get the mixture all along the edges, and then just scatter over that remaining cheese. A bit more pepper, and then a few more thyme sprigs. So I've got the oven at 180 and I'm going to bake this for about 40 to 45 minutes till the skewer comes out clean and you can have a beautiful golden topping on top of this loaf. So while that's in the oven, we can get on with the bacon butter. The bacon butter is extremely indulgent, I know, and you could leave it out if you want, but I mean, why wouldn't you? Bacon, butter, cheddar, beer, it all comes together so beautifully. I'm going to be using very good streaky smoked cured bacon, and we're just going to chop that up very finely. Okay, so with that bacon, I'm gonna go into a cold fry pan. And the reason for that is so we can render out all the fat of the bacon, we can get all nice and crispy, and we can use all that flavor inside of the butter. So in the pan, and then turn on the heat. And so while the bacon's getting all crispy, we're gonna finally grate some more garlic and chop up some more thyme leaves. So bacon smells amazing, nice and crispy, so we can go straight in with that chopped thyme and garlic. It's going to need to cook for like 30 seconds, you don't want it to burn. Stir it through. In with some more black pepper, and then finally a decent amount of butter. So as soon as that butter's melted off the heat, I know what you're thinking, it's a lot of butter, but you're only spreading a little bit on each slice. So we'll cool that down, get it into the fridge, and it's going to kind of re-solidify into a beautiful butter. Then we can get out room temperature, and so it could spread on beautifully onto the cheddar beer loaf. This loaf smells incredible. I'm just gonna let it cool down a little bit and then we can get it out of the tin, slice it, eat it, yum. Okay, so the bread's still a little bit warm, but it's cooled nicely, and you'll see the benefit of lining the tin like that. Just comes straight out at a moment of truth. So you can see all those beautiful specks of cheese and thyme and pepper. I think it's gonna be great. The loaf is obviously fine as is, but this bacon butter is just perfectly soft. And look, that's so much more interesting than just plain butter on the loaf, but you can do what you want, but I think I'm happy with the bacon butter. That is really good. You can taste that beautiful savoriness of the beer. That cheesy crust is absolutely awesome, and honestly, that bacon butter is the crown on this beautiful loaf. This is a perfect Aussie tea time snack, but I think it's an anytime snack. So if you'd like this indulgent recipe, head to delicious.com.au.